Testing, testing. All right. Good morning. Today's going to be pretty straightforward. I've got my existing site here built on Gatsby. Oh crap, that's really loud. Built on Gatsby, and I'm porting it to NextJS for a couple reasons. I feel like Gatsby is perhaps slowly going the way of the buffalo. I've been working primarily on NextJS these days, and it feels weird to come back to Gatsby whenever I want to write a blog post or anything like that. Some restraints to this project are that one, I'm going to be writing on my blog posts in org mode, so I'll be using OrgaJS to compile, instead of Markdown, OrgaJS to compile my org posts to blog posts. I plan on following more or less their example posts or their example blog here at the blog starter, and yeah, instead of Markdown, I'm basically just going to be using the remark.org package from OrgaJS to do the transpilation. Alright, let's get started. Well, that is to say, I've already gotten started a little bit. I started this at about 4:30 this morning, before ultimately deciding I should go back to bed and get some legitimate sleep. So that's what I did, and now we're back at it. I'll show you what I've got so far. So far, I've just set up the basic NextJS project. I've got some blog posts that I've already written here in the post folder, and this works. Like, I can show you it works well enough, but it's not exactly what I want. I'd rather be able to dynamically create these blog posts. Welcome to its posts. Hold on. Oh, and this is the wrong one. Here we go. Yeah. See, this is working, but it's not quite what I want. I'd like to be able to generate the index page that displays all the blog posts automatically without me having to manually add a link every time. That would just be a better approach, I think. And following this Markdown one, I think is going to get me there well enough. I admittedly have never had to do this sort of thing in NextJS before. I've mostly just made straight static sites, static pages, or static enough that they just consume an API and pull the stuff in. I haven't done the static generation type thing before. So this will be a little bit of a learning process for me as I go along, but otherwise pretty straightforward, as this website's already built, and I'll largely be copying over some of the components that I've already got. Maybe adding a little bit more polish, like right now the spacing on this is a little off. Just do some last minute changes I had made on stream a few months ago, and I haven't touched it since then. This here is OrgaJS. It is built on the same technology as this, where is it? Here, Remark, which is a sort of a transpilation library that it's very plugin based, and like, for example, a lot of people use it for Markdown, but it also does org mode in the form of this project here, which is based on Remark. So my hope is that once I get this going, I can utilize some of the existing Remark plugins to augment the org mode transpilation of all this. Here is their example of NextJS, which is what I've got it based on now, where I've just plopped org mode files in the pages directory, and they rendered, you know, as you might expect. But I don't really have any intention of using org mode for the pages themselves. I really just want it for the blog content. If you're watching, let me know if you can hear me okay, or if the music's too loud or anything like that, and I'll adjust it. Ooh, hopefully this coffee starts to work soon. All right, so let's go back over here. I'll make this a little bit bigger. So I'm blind and I know it doesn't render very well on Twitch that way. Yeah, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is probably get rid of this here. I already have those blog posts living. My directory over here. And I kind of want to start fresh, so I'm going to delete that. I don't need the API, I don't think. Don't need this test file. So now I'm sort of back to square one over here. Or that's not going to work. But that'll still render. Oh. Let me clean up this homepage because it's the default homepage and I don't need it for just about anything at this point. I'm going to use a different style of, or a different library to style these all together. I prefer to use stitches for my projects. If you've watched this video before, then you certainly know that. Oops. And that should be rendering now. Okay, cool. So I think I'm at a good starting place, basically starting back at 0. Got a very basic layout here, just to prove that the layout's working to myself. So let's go over here to the Markdown blog example and see what it is, what else we might need to get started here. Okay, they've got a very similar setup to mine here. I'm going to go ahead and add this custom document because there's a likelihood that I'm going to need it. All right, and I will add back the posts folder. Oops. And it looks like we also have a slug file here, meant to host the, oh wow. Meant to host the individual blogs themselves, render in there. So we'll go ahead and create that as well. Oops. I'm largely going to move as much of this over as I can. That's going to mean, well, no, I take that back. I'm not moving a whole lot of this at all. Just because there's a lot of components that are here that I'm not going to need in my final website, so it may not be a good use of my time. But the general idea is here that I'm exporting a function called post that'll serve as the main template for the blog post rendering. My microphone generally sits right in front of my keyboard, so everything's just out of my peripherals, really conveniently. I'm sorry if you hear some more staticky noise in the background now. I have to turn this fan up. It's so blistering hot in this room. Let me know if that affects the audio in too negative of a way. Okay. Right. This looks like it's going to take the params at render time or runtime and then look up the blog post, convert the content from Markdown to HTML, and return the content and the content of the post metadata together in this post object, which will then get injected up over here. Get static paths. I suppose this just sort of sets up the data statically for you to know which paths exist. We'll figure that out. This get all posts function is coming from, I believe, the lib folder. Yes, lib API. Hold on, I have to let my cat in. It's just going to drive me crazy if I don't. Okay. That is settled. So let's go ahead and pull these in and then go over to the API file or create the API file and go from there. At some point, I'm going to have to change things up and pull in the Orga stuff, but we'll do that when the time comes. So over here in lib, we'll create API.ts. Go to it. And now my other cat wants in. I'm not letting it in. We're gonna need these. I don't think we'll need this one. I'll go ahead and create this post. No, I'm gonna call it content. I'll create a testpost.org. Side of it, we'll add a title. And then content. And that should do for now. Swap this in. Ooh, sorry about that. This is lib APIs. We'll change this to content. Get post slugs. Okay, that's simple enough. Get post by slug. So this will receive the slug and some extra amount of fields. Let's take a look over here. That's not helpful. Also not helpful. That's helpful. Sorta. Sorta helpful. Compare what I see here, specifically this part, with what I see here. Oh, okay, we do have something called matter. Wait, no, that's next. I'm not sure if we lose all matter or front matter at this point or what. I'm definitely going against what the recommendation of the OrgaJS is. They just want you to use those static pages, and I'm not about that today. I would like to do this dynamically, so that's what we're attempting to do. I guess I will try by copying as much of this as I can at the moment and going from there. So I know right away I'm going to want org, but I'm not using front matter, so I don't have data or content, which means this is fields. Fields comes in from get post by slug. I guess we'll see what we get from there. All right, there's more to copy and reconfigure. So we'll get all this in here first. We're being too critical of what we've got here. All right, back to the post slug template. Inside of our get static props. Markdown to HTML. Where's that coming from? Okay, we'll create this. Markdown to org to HTML inside of lib. That's from a previous attempt, so I'm going to delete that. We'll create file org to HTML script. That in. To the slug. Copy this type here because that's, I think, what we're looking for as well. I'm not providing any of that at the moment, so hopefully that's not an issue. In fact, we'll just comment that out for now. And I don't think we put anything in this file over here, so let's figure that out. And we're gonna change a lot of this, so let's see. We've got remark, which we want reorg. So let's take a look over here and see what they have. Where'd it go? Here. Reorg. Oops. And of course, I'm pretty sure this example is kind of old at this point, so we'll see if it still works. Just judging by the fact that they're using the required syntax here. As of last year, they started calling org syntax org down, so I'll continue that tradition here. Got a little more readable. Oh, Prettier says no thank you. rename this to quote.html. Rehype stringify. I'm gonna go with that for now. Put it in there in case that we decide that we do need that. But for now, we won't. I can't pay too much attention to this, I don't think. Probably doing this so wrong, but we'll figure it out soon enough, won't we? And I'm not sure if I copied this yet. We'll do that. And I'll check with the oh, something's happening. Nothing feels super broken yet. Hello, hello. 7 Ani, Johnny. Yep, broke. Cool, expected that. Test posts under content. I'm working on porting this website here I built in Gatsby with a blog post powered by org mode, which is similar to Markdown, only it's slightly different, to NextJS, because out with the old, in with the new, right? It's just a lot to think about on air, so let's see if I have any luck with this at all. I'm very much just hacking away, so don't consider this instructive rather. Yeah, not very instructive. All right, I'm just gonna render the post title if it exists. I'm certain I'm doing something quite wrong over here. I probably should have written some tests, so we'll see how that goes. Actually, yeah, definitely want to get rid of this remark. Bring in reheight. I'm getting no debugging output at all. So yeah, I'm not getting any content, which could be an issue, because that's how things are getting pushed into items. So matter, which I don't have here, because I'm pretty sure it's specific to Markdown, not OrgDown. Do I want SSR? I think this is more of an SSG endeavor, but I could be doing it completely wrong. Learning process, you know. Mostly because I feel like Gatsby's sort of on its way out. I don't really want to develop on Gatsby anymore. I need to learn NextJS a little better, and I thought this would be a nice exercise, as it were. So I expect Markdown to HTML to render everything. Let's see what I'm actually getting out of this thing before we return it. Oops. Nothing much. So we have the file contents, right? I guess it would make sense to look up the docs for this matter thing and then decide if it's something I not need myself, but to just figure out which piece of functionality it's bringing in that I'm missing. That's not it. Gray matter. It's gray matter. There's a very small chance I'm going to abandon this in the middle of trying to get org mode to work and then just switch it to MDX, Markdown syntax. Okay. So it looks like gray matter gives us the content and the data for the front matter. Whereas I think Orga just gives us an HTML string, which might not be what we want at all. Let's see, let's go back to the Orga docs. Well, heck. Metadata. This package is quite poorly documented in my humble opinion. It's also not been touched in almost a year. It's kind of disappointing. Alright, so let's go back to metadata. Take a look at this test. Alright, this seems more low level than I thought it would be. Oh, that's something. This looks like it consumes the metadata package, perhaps? No, not directly. Let's take a look at the tests. This might be it. Weird, is the 2HTML file here at all? That doesn't seem to be used. So we have build from the index That's the entry point here. Let's actually look at what the next package is doing. That might be way more helpful. All right, let's take a look at the loader. That's not what we want. I'm gonna get really bogged down by trying to do this, I think. Yeah. Just checking on my cat. Thought I heard it trying to get out. That's a little low level too. But it does parse. If I get that text content, I could be able to do this, and then who knows. If I don't get this in the next 10 minutes, I might just go with the markdown and then fix it later. Reorg parse, hold on. Reorg. And there's just some packages that don't have tests at all where it would be very useful. Project is a mess. There are no two ways around it. I think this is too boring to stream, too complex to do on air, so I think I'm gonna wrap the stream up, try and hack this out, and if I can get the compiler working, at least find out what the entry point is to what I need, where I can just get the content, I'll come back online. But until then, we're hanging out. This is Boeing. See you next time. Hopefully it won't be as boring. Have a good one.